Welcome to At Home in Bethel Park, and my name is Judy Scheidler. I have with me today Tiffany Bell, who's with AHS Home Warranties. Hi, Tiffany. How are you?
Hi, Judy. Good. Thank you.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourselves?
Sure. Well, first of all,
Or yourself.
Yes. Well, we all like to talk about ourselves.
Yeah.
So I'm with American Home Shield. I live actually very close. I'm right here in Mount Lebanon. I love the South Hills. I'm from Newcastle originally, and I was an agent just like you. And when I was a real estate agent, I had the great experience of working with American Home Shield with my clients, and really formed a great respect for the company, and they ended up recruiting me, and that's when I moved down to the South Hills.
So you were a real estate agent up in Newcastle before you came down here?
I was.
Oh, did you like that?
I loved it.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, I miss it. I loved it.
Oh, good.
But I love what I'm doing.
And you work with the real estate agencies now down here in the South Hills.
That's right. So all of my clients are the agents throughout the greater Pittsburgh area.
Okay, and their brokerages?
Right.
Okay. And you sell home warranties. And why don't you just tell us what a home warranty is?
So it's a funny question because, I've been with the company for over a year now, and my dad still says I sell home insurance to all of his buddies. So it's a common misconception. What's the difference between insurance and a home warranty? So I just love analogies because I just feel like it's easier to understand. So I like the idea that it's similar to a car warranty versus car insurance. Okay. Where the warranty covers the major systems in a home, and this is different with every warranty company, but it's pretty standard, but there's variances. So with American Home Shield, we stick with what we're good at. So we cover the major systems and appliances inside the main confines of the home and the main garage. And similar to a car warranty, we cover normal wear and tear, where something that would be like maybe frozen pipes or a power surge, that might be something you'd want to call your homeowner's insurance about.
Okay. So something like your dishwasher breaking, they would call you?
Right.
If they have a home warranty?
As long as they have a plan that covers it, and that's the nice thing about a warranty, it's similar to insurance, where our consumer warranties, they pretty much customize a package based on what they want in the home.
Okay.
So you're not paying for things you might not need.
So typically in our world as a real estate agent,
right,
we encourage our sellers to get a home warranty for our buyer. Now, if we had our seller get a typical home warranty package for our buyer, what would that be?
Okay, so I'll just give like a quick list.
Okay.
I talk about these every day, so I should know them off the top of my head.
Okay.
So the major components, and these are the big ticket items in the home, would be the heating, cooling, so furnace, AC, electrical, plumbing, water heater, duct work, and then so those are the critical items that we cover. And then we have an appliance package that would include things such as dishwasher, refrigerator, oven range, built-in microwave, garbage disposal, garage door opener, doorbells, just to name a few.
Doorbells?
Yeah, and it really is depending upon what you want in the home. So not every package includes all those things. So you kind of get to pick and choose. And consider it like an a la carte menu.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what happens though is typically the seller will get your pamphlet handed to them from the real estate agent.
Right.
And the real estate agent will encourage them to consider this package because it's a selling point for someone's home. Because as a seller, if you're saying to a buyer, I'm offering you a warranty, it helps give them a little peace of mind for at least the next year that they own the home.
Absolutely.
That they're not going to have any large ticket items fail and not be covered. But when we talk about coverage, it's not exactly penny for penny replacement.
Sure, right.
It is based on an age of equipment, or is it based on service calls, or how do you determine, like if a furnace goes bad, and a typical furnace would cost $3,500 to replace.
Right.
And the furnace is 20 years old. I mean, it's coming to the end of its life. How do you make a determination? I mean, I'm sure you send out service people, but
right.
AHS, how would they make a determination?
So let's start with the service people. So American Home Shield, So they've been around for 40 years, which I actually like because, we all love to support local businesses, and I'm actually a huge fan of that. But when it comes to home warranties, it really pays off to work with the largest warranty company in the nation because we know what we're doing. We have a system in place. We have the largest contractor network. Our contractors are your neighbors. We recruit contractors from the community who want to work with us. And so we make sure they're insured and qualified. So there's some peace of mind there. So when the homeowner would call in a claim, in order to call in a claim, and I get this question a lot actually, so a lot of times on the home inspection report, the inspector may point out that the furnace is beyond its life expectancy. But as we all know, that furnace might be running fine.
Yes.
So technically, they couldn't call in a claim on the item until it either stops working or starts working improperly.
Okay.
For instance, a water heater leaking, it hasn't completely failed, but it's starting to. You want to give us a call. And then we actually will find the contractor who can get there the quickest.
Okay.
If you know someone on our list, you can actually request it. We don't have to actually send that person, but we try. We really do.
Okay.
And then, they come out to the home at that time. There is a service fee due, or some people call that a deductible.
Okay.
And the cost on that, so in the real estate world, it's $75.
Okay.
For our consumer packages, that can vary because the consumers can pick and choose their service fee.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about the consumer package.
Oh, I jumped ahead.
That's okay. Because I don't think a lot of people realize that this is available as a consumer product outside the sale or purchase of a home.
Oh, gotcha.
So I want to talk about that. So
people
do know that.
And let me go back to your question because I was kind of circling around it and not getting to it. So we get this question. It's a great question, the furnace. What type of appliances or systems we replace them with? So I would say the easiest way for me to answer that would say it's typically a builder's grade appliance or equipment.
Okay.
The nice thing is, say it's a furnace, we have to either match the efficiency or it has to be an increased efficiency.
Okay.
But one of the things I love, especially in the real estate transaction, is if your client, say your seller is probably happy to get any type of replacement, but perhaps the buyer during negotiating says, hey, we want to upgrade the unit. Well, at that point, the agents would get me involved. And this is what I love doing because I'm pretty much like a team member to them at that point. Okay. They get me involved and we go through what a cash out amount would be. If they would rather have a cash out amount and just apply our coverage towards a furnace of their own choosing.
Okay.
There's a lot of different ways you can work with a warranty.
Okay. So we know Payne is made by Lennox. It's just a lesser line with Lennox. They're both fine.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is, even if there's a Lennox furnace in there, you probably would come in with the Payne because it's more of a contractor grade, even though it's made by a reputable company.
Yeah, that's a great example.
And it has to be equal in efficiency or better, as for speaking to the furnace. Now, when you talk about homeowners calling you, the homeowner just can't pick up the phone and call. There really has to be a problem. It's just that they can't, want a new furnace. And they also have to have no pre-existing condition on that. Is that correct? I mean, they can't say, oh, my furnace is broken, I think I'm going to buy a home warranty.
Right.
Do you require any kind of inspections or any kind of...
No, thank God. We do have competitors who, I don't know if any are in this area, but I have heard stories from realtors that some companies do require inspections. I know in Ohio there's a company that does require an inspection in order for them to cover a furnace and AC. That's another advantage to us being so big. We don't really get that granular. We really do not require that at all, other than the premium at closing, or for a consumer, obviously the premium.
Yeah, the yearly premium. So do you run into a lot of problems with that? I mean, people saying they need a furnace, or you can't siphon through all that and it's just, it is what it is?
So, I'm sure it happens. I'm glad I don't hear about it a lot,
Okay.
But one thing, just speaking in total layman terms, even though my father's a contractor, I really try to keep things simple because I'm not an expert either on specific systems or trades. So one thing I tell, my agents and for them to pass on to their clients is, when someone might ask, well, what's covered? Typically, as a general rule of thumb, I like to say that it has to be in good working order at the start of the contract to the homeowner's knowledge, But if the utilities aren't on they can still put the warranty on.
Oh, really?
Yep. It just has to visually look like it's in good working order.
That is different than other warranty companies. I'm going to tell you right now, because there are a lot of warranty companies who will not write a warranty on a property that does not have the utilities on.
I didn't know that, and it's something that I and it's good to hear that. But one thing I do say on this topic is just to be smart about it. We want people to be happy with our coverage, and when we send the expert, the contractor, out to the home to look at that, it does need to be connected to the house. It can't be missing parts. So a warranty company won't come in and just upgrade things because they're old.
Right.
So really what we're coming down to is it's really important to read the terms of any warranty.
Right.
And I say that because an educated client is always a happier client.
Right.
I love our coverage, and I think it's great for the homeowner to read it before signing up. And I think they'll be happier with us. They'll realize what all is covered. They'll make sure they call us when they need to.
I wanted to try and press on this point only because I have sellers who have one idea of what they can do with the home and warranty, and I have a line that I think that is drawn that says, no, this is not going to be covered by your home warranty because this is something you knew about. So there is going to be a way to determine that. It's not every seller can just say, oh, I know my furnace is broken, I'm going to go buy a home warranty and they're going to take care of it. This is not how this is supposed to work.
Right. And it really does depend on the item. So we do depend on our contractors to determine, was this a visible pre-existing condition?
Okay.
What I love about, we call it undetectable pre-existing. Most people don't know that term unless they're in the industry. Right. But really what that means, and the best example and the number one claim that we probably cover this time of year in Western PA is the cracked heat exchanger.
Oh, yeah.
I never even knew what that was like 2 years ago. Now I say that 8 times a day, but it comes up all the time.
Yeah.
So the reason American Home Shield is so good at covering the cracked heat exchanger is because, for those of you like me who didn't know what it was, it's something that's inside the furnace that a normal person living in the home, unless they had a carbon monoxide detector, wouldn't know that it was cracked because they couldn't see it. There was no visible evidence of it.
Right.
And we cover that, thankfully, because I get a lot of calls on it.
Well, last year about this time we had somebody talking about furnace failures, and of course cracked heat exchangers are not just a failure, it's a real hazard to the occupants of the home. So that's really nice that the home warranty covers that.
Sure.
And like we said last year, every home should have a carbon monoxide detector installed if you have a gas furnace. And this is the time of year a lot of your local fire departments will come around and check your furnaces for free, especially if you're elderly. So you should contact your fire department to see if they offer that service. And you should get your furnace cleaned. If your fire department won't come check it, the company that would clean your furnace will definitely be checking it. Sorry, that was just like, this
great.
is the time of year to throw that out there right before Christmas to remind people. Now, you actually answered a question for me. Like, you can call your own professional. Like, we have a plumber that lives on our street. If I have a plumbing problem and they're listed on your preferred vendor list or the vendor list that you use, and we can give them that name, they can try and send them out?
Yeah, so the biggest key with this question is it's very important that our customers call us first. Yes. Call in a claim, just like if you got into a car accident. You'd want to call and file a claim first. Well, I would assume you would. I don't know. Thankfully, I haven't been in an accident recently, so I don't really know what the process is. But
my son was rear-ended 2 nights ago, so I actually,
bad topic.
Bad topic. But that's okay.
Yeah, so they do want to call us first because we can't reimburse for work that was done outside of us.
Right.
So you do have to go through that process, and we send our homeowners, that process of the steps that they would take. The service center is 24/7, so they would call us. Now, the request as far as like who does the work, I honestly like the idea of us sending who's first available.
Okay.
Because although they will keep in mind your request, they really will go with the first available because we don't want that repair, whatever's going on, we don't want it to get worse.
Compounding.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, definitely understand that. Now, I think that a buyer should understand if they're calling you on a warranty, the buyer, well, we'll get to some other part of this, but the buyer will have a fee to pay. And it will be payable depending on what the contract is when the service professional shows up.
Right.
And that is outside of the repair, correct?
Sure, yes, that is. And again, some people call it a service fee, some people call it a deductible. But if you're selling or buying and you're using a real estate agent locally, that deductible is $75.
Okay.
And what I like is it's $75 per trade per call. So what agents like yourself, what a lot of agents do is send me the inspection report and I help you go through it. Mm-hmm. And I try to find, if there's one plumbing problem, I will try to find as many plumbing items as we can. Because for $75, it would be one plumbing item or it could be 10 plumbing items. So keep that in mind when you call us, as long as you make sure you list each item on the call when you file the claim.
Okay. So when you're talking about the inspection report getting sent to you, I need a little clarification on that. Are you saying that if my seller has a home inspection done and he has your AH warranty in place, and I get his home inspection report and we've gone over it and there are repairs that the buyer is requesting, you cover that, or you might cover that?
Right, I guess yes. And this is when not to sound very nerdy, this is kind of when I fell in love with the idea of a warranty when I was an agent. So as long as the seller coverage is enrolled before the inspection.
Before the inspection.
So I really encourage that to happen as early on in the process of selling your home as possible. So, when you meet with your agent at listing time.
At listing.
That's ideal, but you can technically add it any time before the inspection.
Okay.
And so at that point, what I love about American Home Shield is it's no obligation seller coverage.
Okay.
What that means is there's no premium due to American Home Shield until that agent gets you to the closing table.
So what happens if it never closes and you've had to replace a furnace?
Yeah, I know people ask me that all the time, and they don't owe us anything. Obviously, we hope that it'll sell for everyone involved, including us.
Yeah.
But, it truly is no obligation. And in this area, Western PA, it's $60 extra at closing for the seller to have coverage for up to 18 months. I'm sorry, I'm probably going off of what your question was.
We're good.
Okay.
We're actually good because what we were talking about buyer coverage, and now I want to be clear, we're kind of talking about both buyer and seller. So buyer coverage is what the seller will offer buyers as an incentive to purchase a home. Now the seller's coverage is actually on that same contract, but this covers the sellers prior to their closing on the home. So if the home has the warranty and a problem comes up that's covered by the warranty before you sell can be used to fix a repair if a seller needs it repaired.
Right.
Like a water heater bursting in the middle of winter. And it doesn't matter if the house is occupied or vacant?
Nope, as long as it's normal wear and tear.
Normal wear.
So if it's vacant, and we do get a lot of calls on pipes freezing, and I hate it's tough to not cover it, but we don't. That would more be considered maybe homeowners insurance, and I don't even want to say that because that depends on the policy.
Since it is winter, I'm just going to put this out here really quick because that won't be covered by your insurance. I'm going to tell you that right now. Most insurance companies will not cover you're not winterizing your pipes in a vacant home. So if you're not living in that home, it really does pay for you to pick up a phone, call a plumber, and have it winterized because that's going to be a $100 charge, and it can run into the thousands of dollars if you get a burst pipe during the winter. And even if you think, well, I'm not living here, my house is heated, that's not how it works because there could be any number of reasons your furnace wouldn't come on. You could have a power outage. If you have an electronic ignition on a gas furnace, your furnace is not going to come on in a power outage. If you have an electric furnace, it's not going to come on during a power outage. So if you don't get your pipes winterized and you're not living in that house, it is a recipe for disaster.
Oh, that's such great advice. That is such great advice.
I've seen,
and I didn't know that.
I've seen this too much. It's such a nominal fee to get it done.
Yeah.
And that's not part of the home warranty, and we'll get back onto the home warranty right now. But okay, aside from burst pipes, where were we?
Well, we were talking about the seller coverage and how that plays a part. And this actually, even if you're looking to buy a home. One thing that I think is very creative that you could think about is, so say you're looking at a home and you want to buy it, and the furnace is really old,
Yeah.
but it's still working.
Yeah.
So it's hard to ask the seller, and you love old homes, so it's hard to ask the seller to provide a new furnace when you are buying an old house.
Well, I don't think technically you can ask them to replace the furnace if it's working.
Well, it happens actually. I mean, because I hear from agents, well,
Really?
the buyer does want this because the inspector might have, and God bless inspectors, we need them to know what we're getting into, you know, but they have to point out that it's beyond its life expectancy, but it's still working.
Right.
But so say that they have a sales agreement and they ended up they negotiated and they landed on a price. During the inspection, everything was fine, but after the inspection, the furnace stopped working. Well, not many sellers want to invest in a brand new system for a home that they're trying to get rid of.
Right.
So just one creative thought is the buyer agent. If you're buying and you're working with a real estate agent, you may consider asking the seller to not only provide you with a warranty, but to cover themselves during the listing period.
Right. That's actually very good advice, and I had heard that from a previous broker when I worked at the other broker. And if they did not have a seller warranty in place, we did ask for them to put a seller warranty in place. I won't name that broker because I know you're working with that broker right now.
I work with a lot of brokers, and I love them all, of course.
Yes, exactly.
No, it's great advice, and I see it starting to take trend. So, one thing that we also have now that's new is a 2-year warranty for real estate clients. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it for negotiating. So if you come into that scenario with the furnace, it's old, but it's still working. I understand. As a buyer, you're nervous about what's going to fail right after you're in the home or right after that 1-year mark when the warranty expires.
Now that is different, and I wasn't aware of that either, because every home warranty that I'm familiar with is a 1-year warranty, with the buyer, who's now the homeowner, being given an option to extend the warranty. But now you'll give a 2-year warranty right out of the gate.
Yeah, I mean, it's all, as everything else, it's negotiable.
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
but we do have that now as a new product, to answer your question.
What would you say, and you said you've been doing this now for a couple of years, what was your best experience in helping somebody who had a problem they needed with a warranty?
Well, probably, you know, obviously I work with agents.
Okay.
You know, so I hear about stories through them. My best experience, well, there's been several. I don't know which one has been the best, but there have definitely been scenarios where I would say seller coverage, hands down, has saved transactions, have helped those sellers get to the closing table and help those buyers sign on the dotted line to get the keys. That $60 that we put on the value of the seller coverage, and again, it's not due until they close, but that $60 I have seen replace a furnace, a water heater for a home that a seller thought was in great shape.
Right.
It is hard to predict when things are going to fail.
Right.
And sometimes there is money due out of pocket. So again, I try not to ever overstate coverage. It's wonderful coverage. It really helps. But like I said, it's always important to read, or people can call me and ask questions.
I can actually speak to one that happened recently as the agent for the seller, and I had told my seller, and she balked at it, and I said, look, you're a single woman. She was going through a divorce, and she had no spare cash. And I said, this is going to save you in the long run. If something goes wrong, you're covered. Her house was on the market from April until last month. And at the home inspection, even though she had a pre-home inspection done and everything was fine, over the summer that heat exchanger failed on that furnace, and the furnace failed. And she got that furnace, and I can say what her price was and what she ended up paying. It was a $3,500 furnace, and she ended up paying $1,400. That's a big deal.
That's great.
When you're a single woman. It's a big deal for anyone.
Yeah.
If she did not have that home warranty, she didn't have the finances to cover that furnace. She straight up did not have the finances to cover it.
Yeah.
And I don't know how we would have been able to close on that house without a price reduction, and she had a mortgage to pay off.
Sure. That's such a great example, too. And I like that you actually said how what she got, what it would have been retail, and that she did have to pay, because sometimes there's non-covered to modify the home. I've learned that these new furnaces are a lot smaller than the old ones, and so a lot of times the home needs modified. But what a great example.
Well, the house needed modified, and the heating company, they were very good. They literally moved the gas line too and brought the gas line up to code because they were required to do that with different types of shutoffs and, of course, the dirt leg on the gas line and everything. But they really did not that deal. I mean, you get sometimes as a real estate agent, you get so involved with your client, you're just pulling for them and rooting for them. I was just so happy she was able to close.
Oh, good.
So that's about the.
I know you guys do so much. I just had an agent yesterday telling me that she was cleaning the house for an open house. And,
oh God, I've done that.
Yeah.
And you go, what? Is this really what I signed up for?
But we love it.
It is. We do love it. We do love it. So pretty much we can maybe say that this is just a really good option if you're a seller. Get this home warranty. Yeah. It is going to cost a couple $100 depending on what you want. But even if you have one item go bad, on your end of the coverage, it covers the entire fee for the home warranty. And let's hope nothing goes on and everything progresses to closing. But we don't have that Johnny Carson Swami hat, whatever he used to be, so we really can't usually predict that. But what about current homeowners? I mean, we see these ads on TV anymore about you own a home, get a home warranty. This is kind of new in our market. I don't know about other markets in the country, but
I didn't realize that people didn't know about home warranties. But I am finding out that a lot of people don't know that's an option.
Right.
So what I like about the customized or the consumer product, I don't sell it personally.
Okay.
I work in our real estate division. But it's a customizable product. So the nice thing about that is they don't have to pay for what they don't want. They get the coverage that they want. They can build it customizable to their home. It's great. Once people have it, they honestly renew. We have the highest renewal rate in the industry at 75%. People love it.
And do you ever say, I'm not going to renew your policy?
I mean, you know what? We used to do that, but now we just have a higher price package. I have actually real estate agents who have told me they have had everything in their home. Real estate agents are one of our number one clients, but they have had everything in their home replaced.
And I say, seen this in action, and we know how it works.
But that's the whole point of it, and that's great. So,
now this does differ, and I wanted to talk about that real quick, and I know you did touch on it. This does differ from homeowners insurance, and I just want to be really clear. Even if you're not a buyer or a seller, it's not the same as insurance.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
If you have, a tree blow on top of your roof, it's not going to cover it. And I think actually AHS offers a separate roof coverage. Is that an add-on that they have, or they no longer have that?
They might have at one point, but we really do stick to the systems and the appliances and the main home and garage. And people in this area, love their garages, so I always make sure I say that.
Let's not go
I'm
there
from farm
with
country. They love it, and I think that's great. I'm glad we have a warranty that covers it. So.
Detached or attached?
It can be detached or attached.
Okay. All right. Okay. What about the electric, real quick? What does?
We cover the electric, but there has to be a malfunction for us to cover it.
Okay.
So we wouldn't just cover an upgrade just to upgrade, like knob and tube wiring, for instance.
Yeah. No. Okay.
Unless it was malfunctioning, and then they would call that in. We get a lot of electrical calls. Plumbing is probably the number one thing.
That would be like that. What knob and tube wiring isn't malfunctioning at this point? That's all I'm going to say.
But we love all those old homes that have it,
Yeah. Well, we love them until we have to sell them.
Right.
All right. Well, Tiffany, actually, our time is just about up. That went very quickly.
It did. Thank you so much.
Well, I'm really glad you came.
Yeah.
It was great seeing you again.
Thank you.
And that is Tiffany Bell, and she is with American Home Warranty.
Yeah, American Home Shield. That's fine. Yep.
You changed your name, right?
We we actually purchased a company in the area, but we are still AHS, or a lot of people know us as American Home Shield.
American Home Shield. Yeah. Your neighborhood warranty company, we'll say that. And I would like to thank you all for joining us tonight. And this is Judy Scheidler from At Home in Bethel Park.